Welcome back to the third video in our Cannabis Education Series. Today's video will focus on the potential consequences of using cannabis for an adolescent. The definition of a consequence is the result or effect of an action. An adolescent choosing to use cannabis can have short and long-term consequences, including behavior concerns, legal concerns, and relationship concerns. Cannabis use affects specific sites in the brain called cannabinoid receptors. These receptors send messages to different nerve cells throughout the nervous system. They affect brain areas that impact learning and memory, appetite, coordination, and pleasure. So interfering with these receptors can have significant effects and consequences on our brains and bodies. Let's discuss some of these potential consequences. Cannabis use is linked to problems in school as it dulls attention, memory, and learning skills. Because cannabis is what we call lipophilic, it binds to fat cells in our body, which means it can affect our brains and bodies long after the intoxication period has subsided. These effects can last for days and sometimes weeks, depending on how often a person uses cannabis. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, compared with teens who don't use, students who use cannabis are more likely not to finish high school or get a college degree. Cannabis also affects timing, movement, and coordination, which can harm athletic performance. Cannabis can also cause legal consequences for minors. Although you may live in a state where certain varieties of cannabis are legalized for adult use or for medicinal use, it currently remains a federally illegal substance. There is ongoing research related to potential medical uses of cannabis. However, it has a high potential for abuse, and currently there are no accepted medical use treatments in the United States. Even in states where recreational adult use is legal, the age of purchase is 21 to limit the availability and access to adolescents, since we know there are significantly more consequences to adolescent use. I encourage you, as a parent or caregiver, to educate yourself on the most up-to-date laws in the state and city in which you reside. The laws are often fluid and change quickly, so staying up to date can be imperative to having conversations with your children or young people related to cannabis. If your child attends a cannabis awareness and reduction group, I encourage you to have a conversation with them about what potential consequences they have experienced related to their cannabis use. You might even choose to share consequences you have witnessed or experienced yourself due to their cannabis use. It is best to have these conversations when we are not in a state of anger or frustration, but instead at a time where we are calm and we can be open to our child's perception and experience. Another conversation starter you may use is, have you ever been forgiven for something you did wrong? How did it make you feel? Great times to have these conversations are in the car, cooking dinner together, or out on a walk. This allows you to have one-on-one time without feeling like a lecture or punishment.